convention has concluded at the United Center in Chicago. However, just 3 miles from this venue, there are areas of south of Chicago where people fear to go, both day and night, largely due to gang activity and rising crime. These neighborhoods are home to between 2 to 3 million people, the majority of whom are black Americans. Almost daily, news from these areas makes headlines in American newspapers, detailing incidents like murders, shootings, and gang conflicts. Despite these threats, a non-profit advocacy group named M3, My Block, My Hood, My City, is actively working to prevent crime and steer youth away from joining gangs. Lady Sanders, the head of this group, made special arrangements for us to visit these neighborhoods. On Lady Sanders' specially equipped van, we visited areas where local gangs approached strangers for questioning, but I felt safe due to Lady Sanders.
The solution to the problem, two words: love and support. Love comes, love can be a lot of things. When you love on somebody, you can get them to listen to you. When you love on somebody, you become patient with them. When you love on somebody, you become more understanding. Now, you take that and you be consistent with that in somebody's life, man. Sometimes youth feel like, oh, this person is too good to be true, or this is just too good to be true. So they will reject it. Where they will try to reject it. So with that, you don't want to give a youth any reason to be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go that way. They already want to. They already want to reject.
During our visit, I was surprised not to see any shopping malls or restaurants. Even in the smallest American towns, one usually finds numerous international and American food chains. Locals explained that business ventures are deterred here due to extortion and gang conflicts. However, Lady Sanders took us to a small neighborhood shop that has been a lifeline for the community. Chloe Graham, a volunteer with the group, expressed that the lack of attention to these neighborhoods is rooted in racism.
Am I hopeful? Yes, I'm a positive person, optimistic. I would hope for it, but we can't rely on them. We have to start here in the city and start with whoever we elect here. The presidential election is very, very important, but on a neighborhood, city lens, we need to start as a community. And as far as the black jobs, I'm not sure what the black job. The main thing that I see is just lack of resources here in the community. Youth need, they need things to do. Like if you leave a kid idle for so long, things are bound to happen. So resources, food security, because I think food has a lot to do with your mental health. Like if you're waking up and there's no fresh food anywhere, or it's really expensive, it's just hard to function. The schools up north, the schools downtown, suburbs, they have a bunch of funding and their kids are doing great, they're thriving. But here they I guess they ignore it. They listen to the news, they hear the bad things that are happening, and I think the issue why people don't care it's racism, honestly. There's a bunch of resources everywhere else, but in neighborhoods where it's a lot of black and brown, it's kind of hard. Imagine growing up and you're seeing your dad and your uncles and your cousins living this certain life. It's really hard to break out from that because that's just what you see. We're a product of our environments. It's not a blame who and what, but it starts with the funding. It starts with the attention to detail. People need resources and they need opportunities. And at My Block, My Hood, My City, that's where we start with the youth. We take them from their underfunded neighborhoods.
The Marion Span, a youth volunteer with the advocacy group, voiced deep disappointment with both current and past governments' neglect of these areas.
My message has always been stay on go. And what I mean by that is always stay on all 10 of your toes, be ready for whatever, and be ready to stand up to whoever. We've all had moments where we encountered with individuals who simply just doesn't care about what community members say or what youth have to say. But we have met those people who cares, like Jamal, Chloe, Lady, and what that tells us is that it's actually people who's listening, it's actually people who cares, and it's actually people who want to make a change.
The existence of such neglected areas in developed cities like Chicago underscores America's ongoing struggle to overcome its history of division and racism. According to M3 Advocacy Group, residents here feel disenfranchised regardless of whether a Democrat or Republican president is in office, as neither has adequately addressed their concerns. I posed this question to Miriam Shapiro during a press conference at the DNC, where she emphasized the importance of food security, but did not directly address my query.
Thank you so much. This is Jahanzaib Ali from Airway News, Pakistan. So you're talking about the trade and about the food security and all the stuff, but just like a couple of miles from here, there are areas of south of Chicago where like millions of people living without enough food, without enough clean drinking water. They don't have grocery stores. They don't have shopping malls. They don't have restaurants. And even in the daytime, people avoid to go there. I was there covering their issues yesterday, and they were like so disappointed by the Biden administration. So why nobody cares about them? You are giving billions of dollars to Ukraine. You are giving millions of dollars to Gaza. But there's a situation just like a couple of miles here from in Chicago, and this administration is not helping them out. What is the reason?
You've asked a very important question, and I will be the first to admit that this country has a long way to go in terms of providing much greater economic security for all Americans. And we have started to see things change under the Biden administration. Keep in mind, President Biden took office after COVID had decimated many lives in this country, also around the world, including in Pakistan. And so the situation that the Biden-Harris administration encountered was really unprecedented. And yet they have taken major steps to start to turn the ship around and to be able to provide much more for working families and for those who don't yet work because they can't find jobs. They don't have the training. And so
Jahanzaib Ali, Chicago.